Li Shedong was born in 1880 in Tianjin. His family was rich and involved in banking. His father was a successful official and scholar. His father died when Li Shedong was very young. He was raised by his mother and older brothers. Even as a child, Li Shedong was very intelligent. He loved reading and learning. He studied Chinese classics, poetry, and calligraphy. He showed great talent in writing and art at a very young age. His family provided him with excellent teachers. When he was a teenager, his family moved to Shanghai. Shanghai was a big, modern city at that time. The young Li Shedong entered a new world. He began to write poems and articles for newspapers. People noticed his literary talent. He became part of a circle of young artists and writers. He was not just a scholar. He was also interested in new ideas from the West. He studied English and other subjects. He was like a sponge, absorbing all kinds of knowledge. During this time, he also got married. His wife was named Yu. They had a family together. In 1905, Li Shedong decided to go to Japan to study. This was a common choice for bright young Chinese men at that time. They wanted to learn how to make China strong. In Japan, Li Shedong focused on art. He studied Western painting and music at the Tokyo School of Fine Arts. He worked very hard. He was a pioneer. He was one of the first Chinese to seriously study Western art. He learned to play the piano and studied music theory. He also continued to practice Chinese calligraphy and painting. He became skilled in both Eastern and Western arts. In 1910, Li Shedong returned to China. He was full of ideas and energy. He wanted to contribute to his country. He started working as a teacher. First, he taught at a normal school in Tianjin. Later, he moved to Hangzhou. In Hangzhou, he taught at the Zhejiang Provincial First Normal School. This school was famous for its progressive ideas. Li Shedong taught painting and music. He was a very serious teacher. He demanded a lot from his students. He believed art was important for the human spirit. He was not just a teacher inside the classroom. He was a cultural leader. He started art magazines. He organized the first modern art exhibitions in China. He introduced new teaching methods for music. He wrote new textbooks. He even composed songs. Some of his songs became very popular among students. One of his most famous students was the painter Feng Zikai. Feng Zikai later wrote fondly about his teacher. He said Li Shedong was strict but kind. He said his teacher's passion for art was infectious. During this period, Li Shedong was at the peak of his secular life. He was a famous artist, musician, writer, and educator. He had a family. He had friends and students who respected him. He enjoyed the cultural life of Shanghai and Hangzhou. He wore fine clothes and lived in a comfortable house. To the outside world, he was a great success. However, inside Li Shedong, a change was happening. He began to feel a sense of emptiness. The fame, the artistic achievements, the social life. These things no longer satisfied him. He started to think about deeper questions of life. What was the meaning of existence? Why was there suffering? How could one find true peace? He had always been interested in religion. He studied Buddhism and other philosophies. Around 1916, he tried a Buddhist practice called fasting. He went to a temple in Hangzhou and did not eat for several days. This experience had a profound effect on him. He felt a clarity and peace he had never felt before. For the next few years, he moved between his teaching life and a growing interest in spiritual practice. He spent more time reading Buddhist scriptures. He visited temples and talked with monks. The worldly life began to feel more and more like a burden. Finally, in the summer of 1918, he made his decision. He told his wife and friends that he would become a monk. This news shocked everyone. His wife was devastated. His friends and students could not understand. Why would a successful, talented man give up everything? But Li Shutong's mind was made up. He distributed his personal possessions. He gave his art supplies and books to his students. He said goodbye to his family. It was a very painful goodbye. Then, he went to the famous Lingyin Temple in Hangzhou. There, he was ordained as a Buddhist monk. He received the monastic name Yanyin. Later, he was also called Hongyi, which means Great One. The famous artist Li Shutong was gone. In his place was the monk Hongyi. His life changed completely. He moved from a comfortable house to a simple monastic cell. He exchanged fine clothes for simple monastic robes. He gave up writing poetry and painting pictures for pleasure. He gave up music. His life now followed strict monastic rules. His daily routine was simple. He woke up very early. He meditated. He chanted scriptures. He studied Buddhist texts. He ate simple vegetarian meals. He did manual work. He went to sleep early. The goal was not artistic creation, but spiritual awakening. Master Hongyi was a very strict monk. He followed the Buddhist precepts, or rules, very carefully. He was particularly devoted to the Vinaya. The Vinaya is the part of Buddhist teaching that deals with monastic discipline. He believed that strict discipline was the foundation of spiritual practice. He studied the ancient Vinaya texts deeply. He became an expert. He wanted to revive the pure practice of monastic rules in China. His life was one of extreme simplicity. He owned very few things. A set of robes, a bowl for food, some basic scriptures, a brush for calligraphy. That was almost all. He traveled to different temples. He often lived in very quiet, remote places. He avoided fame and attention. However, his reputation followed him. People knew that the great artist Li Shutong was now the monk Hongyi. Many people came to see him. They wanted to ask for his calligraphy or his advice. He was often very quiet. He spoke few words. But when he spoke, his words carried great weight. He did not completely abandon his artistic skills. He used them in the service of Buddhism. He practiced calligraphy constantly. His calligraphy style changed. It became very simple, clean, and powerful. He lost all the showy techniques of his youth. His writing was pure and sincere. He wrote Buddhist texts and phrases to share with people. Many people treasured his calligraphy. They saw it as a form of spiritual teaching. He also used his knowledge to write and edit Buddhist books. He wrote essays explaining Buddhist ideas in a clear way. He helped to print and distribute important scriptures. He became a teacher again, but this time a teacher of the Dharma. The Dharma means the Buddhist teachings. As Master Hongyi grew older, his health declined. He lived a very austere life, and his body became weak. But his spirit remained strong. He continued his practice without complaint. During the war with Japan in the 1930s and 1940s, China suffered greatly. Many people were killed or displaced. There was much pain and sadness. Master Hongyi moved around to avoid the worst fighting. During this difficult time, his message was one of compassion and peace. He encouraged people to stay calm and kind. He believed that inner peace could help in times of outer chaos. In his final years, he lived mostly in the southern province of Fujian. He stayed in small temples in the mountains. He knew his time was near. He prepared for his death carefully, as a monk should. He settled all his affairs. He gave final instructions to his disciples. In 1942, Master Hongyi became very ill. He had little energy. He wrote his final words. They were a short phrase that read, "Sorrow and joy are one." This reflected his Buddhist understanding. It meant that all opposites in the world were interconnected. He passed away peacefully in October 1942. He died in a small temple called Wanlian Temple in Chuanzhou, Fujian. He was 62 years old. According to witnesses, he lay on his side. This was in the traditional posture of the Buddha's passing. His face was calm. After his death, Master Hongyi's legacy continued to grow. His life story fascinated people. Here was a man who had everything the world could offer: talent, fame, success, family. And he chose to leave it all. He chose a life of simplicity and spiritual search. People saw his life as a powerful lesson. It was a lesson about the limits of worldly success. It was a lesson about the search for deeper meaning. It was a lesson about the courage to change one's life completely. For Buddhists, he was a respected master. He was especially admired for his strict practice of monastic discipline. He showed that discipline was not about punishment. It was about creating freedom for the mind. For artists and intellectuals, he remained a figure of great interest. His early work in art and music is still studied. His dramatic life choice is still discussed. He showed that art and spirituality could be deeply connected. Today, Master Hongyi is remembered in many ways. There are temples associated with him. His calligraphy is displayed in museums. Books are written about his life. His story is told to show something important. It shows that a single life can contain many different chapters. His life was a journey from complexity to simplicity. It was a movement from the outside world to the inner world. From creating beautiful art to seeking a pure heart. From being Li Shudong to becoming Master Hongyi. He did not say one life was better than the other. He simply showed that for him, the second path was necessary. His story reminds people to look beyond surface success. It encourages people to ask themselves a question. What are they truly searching for in life? It is a story of transformation. It is a story that continues to inspire people. It inspires people nearly a century later.